Morning. Welcome to GSC Live Mornings. It's Friday morning, June 5th, day 84 in our stay at home, stay safe time together. Thank you for joining me. This morning, I poured my cup of coffee in this beautiful red, white, and blue cup, dropped off at our front doorstep last evening when Cindy and I were out getting haircuts. Thank you. I'm not going to name you live out here like this, but you know who you are. Thank you very much. Such a kind gesture of you to drive all the way over here from Blooming Prairie, where I served First Lutheran Church and lived for 7.5 years. And I love this cup. It represents much about Blooming Prairie, a very united city, but also a city that celebrates the 4th of July in a huge way. When this town of 2,000 people entertains up to 30,000 people on the 4th of July for their parade. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it's not going to happen this year, but I bet it happens next year in a renewed, revitalized, bigger than ever way. But thank you so much, dear friends, for this cup. I wish we would have been here to see you. Sorry we missed you. This cup will mean a lot to me, and thank you for the gift. And the other one similar to it. I really do love the red, white, and blue. I love what it stands for, the United States of America. And it speaks to the united nature of a people in a country, on a land, on this globe that is unique in that it is a place intended for people from all over the world to come and become citizens and to bring with them their culture and their understandings for life in this great experiment where we are learning to live side by side as a multidimensional people. It's an experiment, and sometimes experiments have hiccups and you have to start over. And sometimes you have to pour all the chemicals out and start over, like in a lab. And in some ways, that may be where we're at right now. Got some problems in this great experiment. And it's a troubling time. I'm recalling 2013, I attended a churchwide assembly for the ELCA, and the topic of discussion one day was a social statement on racism and the treatment of people within this great country. And at the breakout session, we were encouraged to sit at a table with people we did not know to carry on the discussion with people that we didn't come with to this convention. So I sat down at this table of about 8 people right next door to a woman senior to my age, a woman of color from Ohio. She was a church leader in a Lutheran church there. We had a wonderful discussion. And she turned to me at one point and she says, part of me wonders why we're even having this discussion about racism, because racism in itself says that you've got one race of people opposing, dominating, or not in agreement with another race of people. Racism, one race of people on top of another one, or at odds with another race. She says, I don't understand this, because in the beginning God created mankind, one human race. As far as I'm concerned, we are one human race. We don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different races of people in this world. We have one human race. Those are profound words. Profound words that hang with me. Early this year, the congregation I serve decided to make as its vision statement kind of twofold. One, we will be more intentional to deepen our relationship with God. And number 2, we will engage in holy experimentation to listen more intently to the voice of Jesus. Our church is called the Good Shepherd, so we'll listen to the voice of the Good Shepherd. Many ways, people have spoken up to the different ways that they think they've heard the voice of God or the voice of Jesus speaking to them. And oftentimes it's through the voice of another person. And that too is profound. because God speaks to us through other people. Not, at least very rarely, as far as I'm concerned, as a clear clarion call voice from above, like what happened to Moses. But I'm going to read to you Psalm 29 this morning that speaks about this voice of God. Give me a second to turn to it. Psalm 29. Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory of his name. Worship the Lord in holy splendor. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon skip like a calf and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord causes the oaks to whirl and strips the forest bare. And in his temples all say, Glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Our daughter has been participating in the protests in Minneapolis. And as dad, I say, wow, you're peaceful, aren't you? And you're safe, aren't you? She says, Dad, absolutely, I am peaceful. But don't think that peaceful means quiet. We have to be loud. Our voices need to thunder and shake. Perhaps these are the voices of God speaking into a system that has pitted differences in the one human race. Perhaps this is a clarion call from God to wake up, to uncover some of the injustices that have occurred within that one human race. These are things I'm pondering. These are things I feel fairly certain about for me. I won't project that on you. I will allow you to think for yourselves about the voice of God. And please know that in Micah 6:8, what does the Lord require of you? Kindness, justice, and mercy. That's the voice of God speaking. Blessings to you this day. I invite you to listen for the voice of Jesus.